reading section, multiple choice single answer method. Let's look at the step-by-step method that we recommend for this question type. First, quickly, another look at the question screen. On the left, you have the text. Then at the top right is the question. And below that is the list of options. You have to select one option to answer the one correct option to answer the question at the top. So it's quite straightforward. Now let's see the method. The very first step is read the question. So don't start by reading the text. You should first read the question. That gives you a goal. As we discussed earlier, academic reading, when we do academic reading, we do that to find some specific information. And once you read the question, you know what specific information you need to find. After that, from the question, you can note the keywords in the prompt or in the question, the words that seem to carry most weight, that seem to be important. So make a note of those words. Then you go ahead and read the text. But how will you read it? You will skim it. So just to have a quick glance, understand how the information is structured, and then you can scan for the keywords. For example, if the question prompt is something like, in which year or which year saw the greatest increase in population of New York City, then the keywords that you have noted from the prompt, New York City population increase. And when you skim the text, you try to understand the structure. Where are they specifically? So you will have in mind in which paragraph are they talking about the population increase or decrease, or in which part of, if it's a larger text, where are they specifically talking about New York and its population. You identify and you focus on that area of the text, and then you will scan for keywords. So don't do an exact match of the keywords. Sometimes the words, they are not exactly repeated. A one-to-one match is not there between the words in the prompt and the words in the text. It could be a synonym, or it could be another word with the similar meaning. So scan for keywords or related keywords. And once you do that, you will have identified a sentence or a couple of sentences in the text which you think give you the answer. Then what do? Then you can validate your options one by one. So look at the information there, compare it to option one, and eliminate the wrong options. And then what you are left with is the correct option. So one strong recommendation that we make is you must always validate all the options. Even if you first look at option A and you're 100% confident that option A is the correct one, still spend a few seconds also looking at the other options. Because sometimes you don't know. After you've seen the options, you might find that option D is a better choice. So do not be in a rush. Validate all the options one by one. But once you have, and when we say validate, we mean cross-checking it against that specific part in the text that you have identified. And once you have done that, then just submit it and move to the next question. And while doing all of this, you must keep the time constraint in mind. Spend a minute or 2 minutes. Don't spend more than that. Okay, it should not take a lot of time. Now, let's understand this method with the help of an example. Here's the question. You may pause the video and take a minute or two to answer this question. Let's look at the answer. It's option number 3, to provide ready water for human consumption. Now, let's go ahead and look at this step by step. The first thing that you have to do, you should read the question prompt. So in this case, that is, which of the following you would not expect from the widow's zone. We didn't start reading the text immediately. We didn't read the options. We first read the question prompt. So read the question, understand what the question is, identify keywords from the question prompt. In this question prompt, the main keyword is widow's zone. So it's a question about this zone, and the rest of the question tells you which of the following you would not expect. Means that you have to look at the options. One of these is not correct or would not be expected from the widow's zone as per the text. That's always implied. Even if they don't write as per the text, you can safely say that's what they mean. Which of the following you would not expect from the widow's zone as per the given text. So all of that, all these questions are in the context of the given text and only the given text. So you don't have to use your general knowledge. You don't have to think of anything else. Restrict your answer, your analysis only to the given text. Step number 3, skim the text. Now the text that's given to you, quickly go through it. We start from the top. The widow's zone is undersaturated. Then I jump. In some places is absent. Then I jump to the next paragraph. Unlike the aquifers of the underlying, it's of great importance in providing water, construction of buildings, and disposal of waste, etc. And then again, I jump to the last paragraph. Flow rates, chemical reactions, also control. So I think I've read enough. So I've got an idea of what the text is. So it tells me the various characteristics of a dose zone, what can I find, what's the purpose of the Widows zone. So pretty much each paragraph is giving me more information about the Widows zone. So now I understand how the text is structured. I know that each paragraph, it contains some information, some characteristics of the Widows zone. Some texts, they will have the information structured in a different manner. In that, the paragraph will just be a clear introduction. One paragraph will just be clear examples. Sometimes you get paragraphs like this, text like this, which is all seem to have come from the middle of a text. So all of these contain specific information about some specific characteristics of the Widows zone. Now the next is scan the text. So as we already did in the previous step, we knew the keyword, we had understood the keyword, and we noticed that in all these paragraphs, it's talking about the Widows zone only. So we don't need to again do the same thing because we already understood it in the previous step. But let's say the question was something different. For example, which of the following statements is correct about the soil and rock in the Widows zone? So then it becomes more specific. So then you will scan the text for soil and rock, and you will notice that the discussion about soil and rock is in the first paragraph. So the idea is to zone on to identify the very specific area of the text that deals with your questions. And in this case, however, it seems like the whole text has relevant information. All the three paragraphs deal with Widows zone. So what the next step is, so you have to validate all the options. So you start with to provide water and nutrients. Now when you start validating the options, then again you have to go back and scan the text, see where water and nutrients are mentioned. Can you find that quickly? It's not there in the first paragraph. In the second paragraph, yeah, it says providing water and nutrients. So it says it is of great importance in providing water and nutrients that are vital to the biosphere. So it here refers to the Widows zone. So that means Widows zone provides water and nutrients to the biosphere. So it's correct. That means it is something that you would expect. But we have to find something that you would not expect. Then one by one, when you go through these options and you arrive at option number 3 to provide ready water for human consumption. So look at where there is a mention of ready water or a mention of human consumption. What a moment I'm looking at the last paragraph. So the last sentence, it says, understanding of Widows zone processes is therefore crucial in determining the amount and quality of groundwater that is available for human use. So it is something related to the availability of water for human consumption, human use or human consumption is the same. And as I said earlier, don't try to match just the words. Sometimes it will be something similar in meaning, maybe a different word, but will have a similar meaning. So Widows zone, the way the option is written, it says the Widows zone, you would expect it to provide ready water for human consumption, ready water. But all that the last sentence says is crucial in determining how much amount and quality of, in determining how much amount of water is available and the quality of groundwater that is available. So it doesn't say with certainty that Widows zone will always provide ready water for human consumption. So that means this option is not correct, and that is something you would not expect from the Widows zone. So we now think this is the correct option. But as I said earlier, you must always validate all the options. So quickly look at the other options, remaining 2 options as well before you finalize your answer. And then once you've done that, you've gone through all the options, you select option number 3 and just submit that. As you see, this depends upon answering multiple choice questions. They depend upon your ability to read, to get the overall theme, then your ability to find specific information. And other than that, you must always understand the question prompt correctly. A lot of students, they will get confused between you would expect or you would not expect. It's something similar, but simple. The difference between them is quite clear. You would not expect or you would expect. But then when selecting the options, you have to be very careful. And also, don't get confused just because the option is similar or some of your keywords are matching. Many students, when, for example, in option number 3, they will see human consumption and then they will read human use and groundwater, and they'll look at the option, they'll say water and human consumption, and they'll say, yes, this matches. Yeah. But only when you read the whole of it and you read the whole sentence there and try to understand the meaning, that it's actually the opposite. So don't get confused. Don't base your options, as I said earlier, solely on matching keywords, because that often results in selecting the wrong option. You must make sure that you properly validate the option that you're selecting, read the whole sentence, understand the context of the text, and then you can make the right decision. So those are the 6 steps that you should follow. Practice with them and you will do very well in this question type.